if I were to tell you all you already had access to the most powerful change-making tool right now? In fact, every single year you have 8,760, but none of us use them as effectively as we could. But if we did, we would have the power to transform communities and to live happier and more fulfilled lives. Because the only thing that any of us really need for true and lasting social change is time. Time is the most powerful resource in the world. It is an incredible equaliser between all humans. No matter who we are, no matter where we're from, no matter our background, we are all given exactly the same hours in a day. And it is up to us how we choose to use them. But the reality is most of us use them pretty badly. In our adult lives, the majority of us will spend most of our time in a combination of working, thinking about work, travelling to work, and worrying about work that we haven't done yet. But why? Because we've all been raised in a pretty simplistic capitalist model that teaches us that money equals success and success equals happiness. And who doesn't want to be happy? So we invest our time to earn money. And the more money we earn, the more credit we get. And the more credit we get, the bigger the things are we buy. And the bigger the things are we buy, the more we get into debt. And the more we get into debt, the more time we have to invest to make more money just to stay afloat. And so that capitalist wheel just keeps on turning. And we are miserable. And we are already in debt. And we are unhappy. And we all feel like time is running out. But this can change if we just change the way that we value our time. Time is the most powerful resource in the world that we all have equal access to. We've all experienced the paradox of time, where days can feel really long and years can feel really short. Time has the power to bend and expand and absorb the things that we want to do most. And most importantly, it is the only thing you need to drive true social change. Now, social change economics has always been a passion of mine. It was long before I even had the words to explain what it was. When I first discovered that I could shift my own ideologies from a pursuit of success and happiness to a commitment to connection and action, it was one of the most transformative moments in my life. I quickly realised that I could actually create the world that I wanted to live in purely by investing more carefully my time. Now, a few years ago, I was at a social change economics forum, because that's my thing, and I was sitting there listening to this speaker talk about a really depressing future. She was outlining a future of extreme economic collapse, complete collapses in our financial systems, really high levels of unemployment and community disharmony. And she was talking about community resilience being the only safeguard that we have to protect ourselves in the future. But I know that community resilience only occurs if cultural shifts happen at a community level now. So the speaker was continuing talking, and I was thinking, and I couldn't help but look at my own life and think, well, if our economy was to completely collapse, if this system that we all rely on so heavily was completely collapse, would my family be resilient enough to handle the stress of that change? And then I looked at my community and I asked myself the same question. The short answer was no. Cultural shifts only occur when the vast majority of the population decides to redefine that which has always been assumed as a given. Like the model of success, like the value of time, like what it is that truly makes people happy. So the speaker went on to lighten the mood a little bit and offer some solutions to communities to help build resilience. And when she mentioned time banking, I was instantly hooked. I went home that night and buried myself neck deep in research. Time banking, quite simply, is an alternative economy in which it is based on a foundation that every human being is equal. Your time is equal to my time. No questions. Time bank members invest their time to do something for someone else, and in turn, they are paid in time credits. And then you use your time credits to buy someone else's time to do something for you. The system is really simple, and it builds the thing that is most necessary for community resilience, social change, and human happiness. It builds connection, it builds community, and it builds trust. So over the following 6 months, I built the Project Bunbury from the ground up, which is a time bank, along with invested members of our community. Now, we built it pretty slowly at first. We invited 30 families to come along and join our trial, and it was so successful that within the first 2 months, we opened it up to the public. After we'd been running with members for 6 months, we had more than 50 family memberships who had exchanged more than 600 hours of their time. It was about this time that I was invited to go and speak at a neighbourhood soup event. Now, for those of you who don't know, Neighbourhood Soup is a local micro-grant funding event where local people vote to kickstart local projects. Now, I had no idea what we would do if we won the money. The whole point of time banking is that it bypasses the financial economy altogether. I didn't want the money, but I wanted to connect with the people who would be in that room. I knew that that room would be full of people who were interested, invested, and valuable members of our community who wanted to hear about local projects. So I went and spoke. And I stood there, much like I am today, in front of 130 people, and I said to them, "We do not want your money. We want you. We want you to come on board and engage in the project and invest your time in making social change happen in your community." And after I spoke, person after person came up to me and told me what a fantastic idea it was and how much they could see the value of an idea like this in our community. And out of those 130 people, the majority of them voted for us to receive the money. But the interesting thing was, after that talk, out of those 130 people, only 10 ever registered interest in joining the time bank. And out of those 10, only 4 ever showed up at an orientation. But why? Why are all of these interested, invested, and engaged members of our community unable to actually invest their own time in making change possible? Now, I work in community services, so I hear the word apathy all the time. And it's true. On the surface, it looks like apathy is everywhere. We don't engage much in social projects. We don't volunteer as often as we could. Hell, we don't even know our neighbours. On the surface, we could probably be called terribly complacent about a lot of things, but I do not buy it. I don't think we're apathetic at all. In my experience, people are not nearly as complacent or as apathetic as their lack of participation would make you believe. People care about connection. People care about their communities. People care about the environment and social justice. But there is something that is stopping those people from making the change happen. Now, I've spoken to hundreds of people about this exact thing over many years, in many different walks of life and different situations, and I've discovered it boils down to 3 things. Firstly, fear. We are afraid of change. We are afraid of each other. And we are afraid of social innovation because we do not understand it. Secondly, we do not think we're good enough. We don't think anyone wants to hear our ideas. We don't think anyone wants to connect with us, and we don't think we have what it takes to make true change happen. Thirdly, and this is the big one, time. We already feel like we're running out. We're already overcommitted, and we just keep holding on to the little bit of time we have left, and we're terrified to give it away. And so these 3 things, time, fear, and the belief we're not good enough, create these incredible barriers around the people who want change to happen and the process that is necessary to make it so. Now, our media doesn't help with this. We are constantly being told we're not good enough, we're not fast enough, we're not connected enough to technology. So we're constantly being sold products that are supposed to make us smarter and better and feel more connected and save us time. But what exactly is it that we are saving that time for? If forums like this are proof of anything, they are proof of this. People want social innovation even if they're scared of it. People want change even when they're resistant to it. People want better communities. They want a better economy. They want to feel more connected. They want social justice. They want to protect the environment. But somehow it is still really, really hard for them to engage in the process that makes that change possible. Because this process forces us to take a really good, hard look at our own lives and make some pretty big changes. The process pushes us so far out of our comfort zone that we cannot help but push back. But to see true and lasting social change in our lifetimes, to create a better future for our children, we must all own not just that result, but also the process. There is nothing more powerfully subversive that any of us can do than to become an active, engaged, and interested member of your local community. Mahatma Gandhi once said, "Action expresses priorities." And this is so true in every area of our life. It's true in our relationships, it's true in our families, and it's true in our communities. Where we invest our time in action is how we show the people around us that this is what we actually care the most about. It is in this action that we create more opportunities for people where they live. It is in this action that we create better equity and equality. It is in this action that we create connection. People are the only thing that truly matters. Success, money, fame, big houses, fancy cars. They've got nothing on the happiness that comes from genuine connection, cooperation, and community. It is this action that makes social change truly possible. Now, before I go, I want to remind each of you of three things. Firstly, it is okay to be afraid of change. We are all afraid of change, but the very best things happen when you step out of your comfort zone. Secondly, you are absolutely good enough. Each and every one of you are valuable to your community. You have an enormous amount to offer, and people do want to connect with you. And thirdly, you actually do have enough time. It's up to you how you choose to invest it. Social change starts with each and every one of us investing and engaging in the process that makes it possible. If not you, then who? And there is no better time to start than right now. Thank you.